Yeah. So when my family moved to from Hong Kong to Canada, I was like 6 years old. Couldn't speak much English, so luckily I didn't get bullied because a lot of parents are worried about their kids getting bullied and stuff, right? I act, I dress different, I talk different, I look different, but um, those were the good times in my life in elementary and junior high. But the thing that happened was when my mom died. My mom passed away of cancer when I was
Oh
12,
wow.
so quite early, and I was not religious at all, but my family kind of pushed me to become religious just for the fact that, they wanted us to pray and, try to get her cured, miraculously. And, as a child, I prayed every day. And and of course, my mom ended up passing away. She lost her hair, she lost like half her weight, and she died close to Mother's Day. So, it hits me on Mother's Day, and she couldn't recognize us at the end. So it's like very painful for a child. And that changed my life forever.
You face battles most never fought, pain, struggle, adversity. But here, we use that as fuel. This is the Battle Harder podcast, where we motivate, educate, and inspire warriors of life, veterans, survivors, leaders. We share stories and strategies to turn pain into progress. Here's your host, Coach Rob. Let's lock in and battle harder.
What is up, everybody? It's your host, Coach Rob, here at the Battle Harder podcast, where I hope to motivate, educate, and inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Today's guest, we're going to have an interesting talk about some issues that he had in his life, but those issues that led him to build an amazing tool and a thing that he's trying to put out to the world to help people. So I'd like to welcome to the show, Michael Leung. Thank you for being on the Battle Harder podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
So before we get started, just give my audience a little bit about who you are and what you currently do.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO, founder of the Flow Group, and we're located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. What we are is an assistive hearing device company, and we promote a healthy, affordable, unique way of hearing. And we encourage seniors and anyone to kind of learn about new technologies that's life changing, and give it a chance, because I've seen a lot of great results from people that actually try to learn this new technology.
And this technology that you created, this didn't really start just from an idea. This kind of started from some of the things that you went through in your life, correct?
Yeah, I never envisioned doing this, but it was just different events in my life that kind of led to seniors. I had a serious retinal detachment that happened 10 years ago, and I almost went completely blind. Luckily, I had emergency surgery and brought my vision back. But during that time, that's when I met a lot of seniors, and had a lot of good bonds with seniors during that time. And um, I also ended up developing something called retinitis pigmentosa. So I've lost my peripheral and my night vision on one side, and that was very concerning because I would trip, like I would leap off stairs, I would run, walk into walls, I would like shoulder check people on the left side only. But luckily, I can still drive because I still have one good side. So in Canada, you have one good eye, you can still drive, right? So it took a lot of soul searching, and like that's why me and my ex-girlfriend, we traveled a lot, just because I want to see as much as I can, because they told me it can be next year, 20 years, 30 years, it could hit my central vision, right? Then your sight's so important, right? And when I thought about figuring out like a product out there, and my family owns factories in Asia, so we're kind of pondering ideas, and I wanted to do something electronic wise, and they thought of bone conduction headphones. So when I looked at bone conduction headphones, there's so many out there, so I was like, I don't want to repeat something, so I want to do something different.
Mm.
So we added this amplification into this headphone, so now it aids hearing, so people can use it for social interactions instead of a hearing aid. So they can use this for everything: talk on the phone, watch movies, like a headphone, except this headphone has this amplification into it now, right? So folks like it because it's open ear design. There's nothing in your ear, so there's no direct pressure. It's comfortable. It sits right in front of your ears using bone conduction. So it takes the audio data and converts into sound waves, right? And the sound waves transmit into sound vibrations, and that goes along into your outer, middle, and inner ear, right? So if you have a healthy inner ear, you should be able to hear very well. Even if it's slowly declining, you should be still able to pick up sounds, right? So my first product it did pretty well, but it was more of a base model, right? So it's a one size fit all, one amplification. So I got a lot of feedback, and I ended up developing a new product that's launching in September that has all extra features. Everything's improved, the advanced version. So so many people loved it that they're pre-ordering it and stuff right now. So I'm just waiting for my products to arrive in September, and it's gonna be huge. So just giving people accessibility, a new option other than the hearing aids, that they don't have to spend $8,000. They can spend a couple $100 and get the same result. Don't have to worry about losing their hearing aids, which many people lose all the time. It's so small, it's so finicky. So my direction is polar opposite of hearing aids, right? Everything is just more comfortable. It fits in the front. It's there's no you can be aware of your surroundings. It's large enough that you can't lose it. So it's been great. A lot of people have been supportive, and especially local people are very supportive. Canadians, they want us to succeed. So yeah, and it caters to people of all ages: children, labor workers, war veterans, blind athletes. Anybody can use this. So,
and I definitely want to get into more of the technology. I think it's important. But what kind of struggles did you have from the beginning of the creation of this and the thought process? We talked a little bit in the interview about you having ADHD and some discrimination and everything. So walk us through the pain points of your life. Like, I really want to get into the meat of things that happened to you that led you to create this product that's going to potentially help millions and change people's lives.
Yeah. So when my family moved from Hong Kong to Canada, I was like 6 years old. Couldn't speak much English, so luckily I didn't get bullied, because a lot of parents are worried about their kids getting bullied and stuff, right? I dress different, I talk different, I look different, but those were the good times in my life in elementary and junior high. But the thing that happened was when my mom died. My mom passed away of cancer when I was 12, so quite early, and I was not religious at all, but my family kind of pushed me to become religious, just for the fact that they wanted us to pray and try to get her cured miraculously. And as a child, I prayed every day, and and of course my mom ended up passing away. She lost her hair, she lost like half her weight, and she died close to Mother's Day. So it hits me on Mother's Day, and she couldn't recognize us at the end. So it's like very painful for a child, and that changed my life forever. And obviously from there, I went from a straight A student to fighting in school, stealing, just doing all like stupid stuff, and even went to juvie for a little bit under 18. It was just like a lot of like stupid stuff, and then I just didn't care anymore, because me and my dad didn't really get along. He was too busy working, trying to provide, and he had a different way of teaching the kids, right? So my mom was a loving, nurturing parent, and my dad wasn't. So I just became more rebellious, and I just ran away. I hung out with friends, and there's a period of time where I didn't even care about my family, and I was just in a dark place, right? I lost touch with everyone. I think they even gave up on me at a certain point, because I went from just such a good kid to swearing, and just like swearing at them, and just like running away, stuff like that. None of the family ever heard of this stuff, because all my cousins are all straight A students, married their first husband. They don't swear, they all go to church. So for them, it's like I was just off the charts. So and then of course over the years, bad friends, drinking, partying. From there I almost went bankrupt because of all the drinking and partying, and making dumb investments with friends I never even really researched about. It's like, oh, you got this thing and you put money in. It's like, okay, and just like put it in, right? It's like, so now forever I would never invest with any friends everything I do is just myself, because you build it yourself. If it fails through you, and it goes well, then obviously you reap the benefits. But I don't want to ruin friendships, which a lot of friendships were ruined, and and I think people take advantage of people too. They know you just there to throw money in, and they just kind of take advantage of you, right? So I lost so much money, and to the point where I almost like lost my house. I almost lost my car, and then I had to really rethink of like what to do, right? And it wasn't until my ex-girlfriend came in my life, and we dated for 12 years, but she woke me up. She woke me up and said, like, if you're gonna do something, you gotta research, you gotta do all the due diligence, you gotta make sure, take all the risks, but necessary, you gotta take risks, but you gotta be smart about it, right? So now fast forward, what I'm doing is like I do everything myself. I'm finally delegating some stuff like social media to like a social media team now, so I can focus more on networking and like product development and sales and everything like that, right? But it's a lot of work to run a business. I didn't know this much. I only sleep like 3-4 hours a day. It's terrible. It sounds really bad. I'm trying to get that in check because of my ADHD. My ADHD makes me think of new ideas all the time in my sleep and my dreams, right? So I'm constantly waking up all the time, just like, and then so when you have ADHD, you tend to when you focus on something you really like, you put all your energy into it.
Yep.
And I memorize, like I'm so passionate about this, so I like live, breathe, sleep off this, and it's good and it's bad, but then I need to think of like how to properly, eat, because your health is important too, right? So
Right.
you got to start separating business from work. But I get obsessed with work, so that's my thing, right? But obsession leads to success, but then there's other aspects. So my relationship kind of tarnished, so that's why I said ex-girlfriend. We're still great friends, but I think we just went separate ways with different ways of thinking. Both support each other, but the way she molded me back, I'm still, I'm very happy she did, because now I'm a lot smarter of a person. I'm more humble. I'm more, I'm not going to make the same mistakes I made before. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, and you said some things that are very key points there. So, out of curiosity, was your father like the traditional, I guess, Asian father that just worked hard and really wasn't very emotional and like expected, you kids to be the best of the best regardless, while your mom was, like you said, the nurturer and caregiver? And what is your relationship with your father now?
It's still pretty distant, honestly. Like I tried, I'm sorry. I tried to kind of bury it and forgive him, but he's just that kind of guy, right? So even with my success and everything, he just kind of brushes it aside. Sorry. He just brushes it aside, and I just never felt he was proud of me in anything I did. And when I was really struggling, he would, be disappointed and tell me all the things he's disappointed in me about. But when I did well, he would just not even really pay attention. So it really bothered me, right? So I think, and I would talk to my sister about it, and she'd be like, "He's old. He's, like, I get it. Now he's older. I treat him more like, okay, he's my dad. Like, he's older now. I don't want to fight with him, but I still have that deep inside. I still have a little bit of like, like it's obviously sadness. I'll watch a movie about a son and a father, and I still cry about it. So I have to see my therapist about it, and I'm like, why am I still crying? He's like, deep inside, you obviously care about your dad, right? It's just you try to like be all prideful, like, oh, like it doesn't hurt me, but it did, right? Like all the years of, I feel like, because like a lot of my friends are Caucasian, their families are more tight knit and stuff, and I always wanted that with my family, but I just never had it. So I was kind of like forced into going in the streets and like living, like with my friends, hanging with my friends, because I felt like when my mom's not here anymore, like I had nothing, no one I have no one to care about what they think anymore, and I felt bad because I acted in ways where I think about it now, it was disrespectful. I should have never said those things to my family. I think it's hard, it's hurtful, and But as a 12-year-old, like you lose your caregiver, the most important figure of your life. She used to walk me to school, hold my hand, like till grade 6. My mom was very like, she never liked to spend money on herself, so she'll buy stuff and she'll return it because she felt so bad. But then she'll buy us clothes. But then our clothes would get so worn out, she had to patch it up with like hearts and like circles. That's how I would say we were pretty much in the low income family back then. Low income. We made our own toys. I took paper, cardboard, made my own goalie pads. With it.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty. My family didn't spend much money on like toys. Like nowadays, kids get like so spoiled, right? They got like Gucci shoes. Like everything, right? Like for us, it's like one pair of shoes, and the holes all over. And it's like now that I'm doing good and doing better. I like to spend like on like the good things in life, traveling, eating well, because you want to have good memories and you want to live and you want to. If I die today, I can be like, oh, okay, I saw 35 countries. I helped develop this product to help people, right? And that makes me feel good because I don't want to keep having a depreciating eye condition and just sit there and just let it keep depreciating and then completely go blind one day. And I didn't do the things I want to do, right? So that's why I put myself to the test. I have a business background, but a lot of stuff I learned on my own. So it's like I learned without reading a book. I can't read a book for the life of me. I'll read the same paragraph over and over again, but I'm a smart guy. So like I can watch and visually watch something, read over and over again, and I can memorize it forever. It's like always in my head. I can do a 1 hour speech without notes. I can just like talk and talk, right? So I have my ADHD has superpowers, but I just recently started taking medication for it because it does overwhelm people, especially new relationships with business. I have lost, a little bit of businesses because I am so over the passionate, I guess. I could be a little bit pushy, and then I could be, yeah, I could just like talk like a lot. Like the over talking like I could write essays and just, emails is supposed to be simple. So then when people see a whole book, they could get a little afraid, right? But it's stuff I'm learning to adjust to, but it had harmed me in other ways, relationship wise, and I wish I didn't, so yeah.
And a lot of ways, a lot of things you're saying, we're alike in a lot of ways. I mean, I have my PTSD, my mental health issues that get in the way of things. But I think for business owners, like you said, you have to be obsessed, right? Like there's so many times where I'm sitting on the couch with a wife and we're watching a movie or something, and I feel like if I don't get on my computer and send that email, or I book that podcast guest, or I create that new shirt design, that I'm just going to lose out on that time of creation and that I guess the authority to get stuff out there, as soon as possible to try to grow and try to make money. And, just like I'm 47, I'm getting older. My goal is to make enough money, not so I want to have nice things. Everybody loves having nice things, but it's the travel, man. I want to give my wife everything that she didn't have. I want to go see all the different countries. In the military, I lived in Japan for 3 years. It was an amazing place. I want to take my son there so he can experience it. I want the experiences over the stuff. And you hit some things on the nail. Like it's not just the ADHD. It's that obsession. When you have a service mindset and you're creating a product or a system, or you're trying to help a community of people, and you really believe that you're going to help people and change the world, you just want to keep going and you want to keep pushing and you want to keep putting that stuff out there because you do want to help people. And I truly believe the ones that have a service mindset and they're doing something out of love and passion and purpose, you're going to get so much abundance and wealth from that because it becomes bigger than the money. It becomes bigger than the paycheck. And even like you said, even me, dude, like when I had businesses, I want everybody to win, right? Like, even as we talk now, I want you to win. I want everybody to win. And I would take my friends with me and be like, oh, okay, help me, sell this shirt. And then, like you said, they wouldn't put any money into it, or they wouldn't sell the shirt, or, help me build my gym. And then when it came time, hey, I need some finances, they were ghosts. They were nowhere to be found. So I learned also that it's lonely at the top. You have to go at your own road. And then when you delegate to people and you hire people, it's not your friends, it's not your family, it's people that you're going to give a paycheck to, and they're going to be there to solely do the job. So, I mean, I have a lot of respect for you on all that stuff. I don't sleep very well either. I think most business owners don't sleep very well at night. We're always like, literally, if I'm in the gym working out and a shirt design pops in my head, I will stop what I'm doing and put the design in my phone, so I know that it's there, so I can go back later and actually create the design. Or if I'm taking notes, like, it's it hasn't been a huge issue, but it has caused issues in my marriage and stuff sometimes too, because I have to tell a wife, like, look, like, I have to grind this out and I have to keep going and I have to keep doing this so we can have the rewards later. Like, this isn't me doing this to hinder our relationship or our marriage. This is me doing this so we can have a better life. And I think a lot of people that aren't business owners don't realize that, right? They fall in love with the idea of, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, but they don't realize how hard it is and how it eats at your soul. And when you launch a product and you only get one sale, or you're not getting likes on your social media, not because you want the likes, but you want people to know who you are, it can get frustrating and scary. I mean, and I assume you would agree on that.
Oh, for sure. And I was going to add to that. And it's funny because when me and my ex were together, we traveled a lot. We did so many things, but I didn't put as much energy and time into my business. So I tried to do 50-50, but it wasn't until we broke up that's when I really like put my foot on gas, right? And that's when things were happening. Like, as much as I like hate to say, like, there's a reason for everything, and because we did ended up moving on to her own. She became more independent of a person because we lived together, and then because of that, I was pushed into doing a lot of stuff that maybe she helped me out with, like the design, and like a lot of like the website. She helped me do that stuff too, right? But because I took a lot of risks on my own, like stuff I would never do before, because she might be like, "Don't do it," like, this sounds a little too risky. I ended up doing everything that I thought was right, and it reaped benefits because I got like Dragon's Den coming up. I got TV shows that I filmed, and I got magazine features and podcasts. I do, like, I think I got like 30 of them for like all together. I've done like half of them already, but stuff like that I would never have done before because I would just be so focused on just making her happy too, and just like being happy and just kind of doing like the bare minimum. But it wasn't until I got kicked on my butt and she was gone, and I'm depressed. Like, I was depressed for maybe a month or two. I was drinking heavy, and this is like November of last year, and I locked myself there in my room. Like, I didn't see anyone for 2 weeks. People were concerned about my health. Wow. And then finally 2 or 3 of my good friends like fished me out. Like, they're like, "Dude, you have this great idea. You need to go through with this, or else you're not gonna live. You're not gonna be like." You're not gonna be. You don't want to go back and regret this. It's a great idea. You got to go through with it. And they're like, "I don't think she'll like seeing you like this." So after that, I became sober. I've been sober for 8 months now. So just like that, I was like, I don't want to drink because it made me lazy. It made me like a different person, and then just like not caring about anything. And I just kept backlogging everything. Just like, "Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later." So I just stopped drinking. I just started focusing on my own mental health, working out, therapy, eating healthier, and bing, bang, boom, just things just started happening. And then week by week, month by month, and I was just like, oh, more and more like things are happening. People are loving this. I start working with senior homes every couple of days, just like expanding, and then suddenly I'm working with most senior homes. And then I'm doing grants with like lots of big organizations to give low-income people accessibility of my product, like people that can't afford hearing aids. Now they can have this, through grants, or it's discounted, right? So stuff like that, I'm working with like blind organizations, even indigenous business organizations.
Oh, wow.
So, autistic children, dementia. So now this is like hitting different levels of different markets that's untapped, right? So, and it's helping all these people too. It's like they found this more useful than hearing aids. So they're just like, why didn't we not, why wasn't this created earlier? And I tell them, like, the hearing aid companies had long enough time to create something different. They didn't. So, so now it's just, it's free. The market's free for other people to, to test the market. And I'm the only one doing this. We've trademarked it. We patented it, my supplier patented it. I trademarked it across North America and Asia. So I believed in this since the beginning. I had all this stuff done before I even like went and, got all these different deals, right? So I think it was almost like, karma, everything was just, perfect harmony. And I'm just rolling with it, it's just the beginning, like I want this international, global, where every country has access in a retail store. They can just pick it up and use it, right? Yeah, I think it's really, you need to get kicked on your butt a couple of times. Some people might not get back up. But for me, and I'm sure for you, like you can't just stay down. You gotta keep moving, right? Even with the disability, some people might be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. But it drives a fire up my butt because maybe the ADHD, helps that. But yeah, I think it's good and it's good and bad, right? But yeah.
And guys, so we're going to take a short commercial break, but when we come back with Michael, we're going to talk more about his product. He has the product with him to show. We'll talk about the TV show he was on and how fitness and personal development has helped him kind of get him unstuck and stay locked in with his brand. So we'll be right back. They told you to stay comfortable. You chose the battle. Battle Fitted is for the few who live by discipline in the gym, in the mirror, and in the mind. This isn't just fitness, it's transformation. From our coaching and mindset resources to apparel that speaks without saying a word, to keynotes that shake rooms awake, we train warriors, not followers. No fluff, no shortcuts, just real work, real change. If you're tired of talking about it, prove it. Lock in your first workout, grab your gear, book the mission at battlefittedbrand.com. And we're back, guys. And maybe you can attest to this, Michael. I know for me, like I tell everybody, and I did a post about this today, for me in ADHD, I'm sure with medication it can be managed, but like it doesn't go away. And maybe some of your mental health issues. Funny thing, my mom died in 2018, and I had a long life with her, and it still hurts when these things come by. And I think about my mom because my mom also was very important factor in my life. My father, and it's not just Asians or different cultures. Even my dad was brought up in a household where he never said I love you, and he never told me that he was proud of me, and always having that little bit of resentment, like you said, in the back of your head. And my dad's older now, same thing. I just I have barriers or boundaries now with him. If he needs me, I'm right down the street. I'll go pick him up, take him to his doctor's appointments. I'll help him out. I'll see him at least once a month. I'll try to call him. But the funny thing is, like, if I don't call him for 3 months, I don't even hear from him. Like, I have to make the call and say, Dad, are you okay? So you're not the only one that's been there. But I know for me, like, so yesterday, I actually had a really bad, depressed day. I was really dark, really deep, and it happens time to time. I have more good days than bad now. But today, so I had to go to the gym, and I'm telling myself, I'm like, I'm not going to the gym. Like, I'm literally telling myself in my head, I'm not going to the gym. I have business to take care of. I have housework to take care of. I'm talking myself out of it, right? And what I try to tell people is when we have these issues that we're struggling with, you have to I can't explain it, but you have to dig really, 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 really deep, and you have to flip that switch, right? And I had to flip that switch, and I had to, I'm complaining all the way to my car. I'm like, I'm not going to the gym, but I'm getting in my car. I'm not going to the gym. I'm pushing start on my car. I'm not going to the gym. I'm driving to the gym. And then once I walked in there, probably had one of the best workouts, I've had to try to meet my goals. So does that happen to you? And how do you kind of flip the switch and stay locked in with things that you need to take care of when you're having a moment or a bad day?
Yeah, I totally get that too. Like, because, very easily we could just, even with the gym, I'm always putting it off. And like, And for me, it's like after a while, you put it off. It became more easy to put it off more and more, right? So it's like, oh, third, fourth day not working. I was like, okay, and then just start lazying back and start eating the munchies and just like not caring. I haven't eaten a bag of chips for like a year now. Ever since and I just been more health conscious and stuff. And with a healthy mind, it gives you like it really like makes everything else right, psychologically, mentally, spiritually. I think I need to probably get more help in maybe the mental and the spiritual part, the psychological part, because I did have a lot of PTSD as a young person. I feel like I block it out. I have a lot of it still lingering. So it is tough, but when it comes to putting things off, now I have a trainer, so I have to go. So I make sure I go, I pay him to do it. So here and there, I'm like, oh, I'm busy. Can we postpone it? And I did that for a bit, postpone it. But then they start adding up so many days. So then I'm like, no, I can't do that anymore. And it'll just be like, I'll work, but then, I'll just work longer, just because, I'll just work out, right? And when I do work out, I feel great. I'm like, I'm glad I came because, it does help you, because in the gym, it helps you kind of like think of everything else, like not think about everything else. You just think about working out and just feeling that pump, right?
Right.
So it's almost like a getaway. So it's actually a good thing. And then traveling wise, for me, when I travel, that's my zen. So for me now, I'm like excited for my next vacation, but I've never vacationed without my ex. So, and I don't like traveling by myself. So she kind of planned the whole vacation, and I just kind of come and I'll have little bits of like suggestions, but and I'll just take care of like most of the trip, but now I don't know, like I haven't gone on dates, like I take time to find a new girlfriend, and like maybe I won't travel for a bit, right? But when I do travel, it's like, we go to like Morocco, we go camel riding in the desert, that those are moments where you like, you open your eyes, like, holy moly, I'm in the desert, And then, I was like, oh, hope I don't see a snake because I'm scared of snakes, but, stuff like Iceland, we go on the glacier, like hiking, and you see all these crazy, like, waterfalls. And we did a helicopter ride above a volcano that was erupting. It has erupted in 1,000 years. And we saw that, we're filming it, saw puffins are barely, it's like almost extinct, like in Iceland, it's like endangered, right? So stuff like that, you see it, you're like, whoo, like take it in, and I wish I took it in more back then, because now, well, we have pictures, there's memories. The memories can never go away, right? So that's why I like spending money on. I like spending money on some nice things, but nowadays, it's not that important to me. So it's more about the experiences, the moments that you create now, right? Because 44 now, right? So I don't have kids. I have nothing to pass on to my kids. We never had kids. We never got married. So, I feel we always told each other that I think it's our growing up. She's not close with her family for some reason, too. Now they're a little bit better, but I think that because of that, we didn't want to have kids because we felt like, our family relationship wasn't that good. We don't want to bring a kid in this world with, this kind of like, this world is like crazy, like there's just so many things, right? And some people, they love having big families. For us, it just wasn't in the cards, right? So, but right now, my passion is to help other people and the blind community, the deaf community, and those are big communities that need help, right? So that's what I venture towards doing, right?
So correct me if I'm wrong. Was the TV show you were on Legacy Makers?
Yeah, Legacy Makers. Yep.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't go through with it. I had a application. I was going to apply to be on Legacy Makers with what I do.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But what scared me was there was a question about having to pay for like your hotel and all the different things. I'm like, man, I don't have this kind of money to invest in that. So
yeah.
How long was the TV show? What was it like being on? And like, was there like kind of like Shark Tank? Was there a winner? Did you win? Like, how did it help you in your brand and your business?
Yeah. So that was another thing where I had to just try and, I applied for it. I got, interviewed. They liked it on the spot because they like this, social impactful product with a blind entrepreneur that's helping people that have disabilities, right? So it made a great show, and it's different than everyone else's show. So they pretty much picked 225 people around the world, like business people that have different concepts, different ideas. and they made a little mini documentary about you. So it's almost like a little mini Netflix documentary about your childhood, stages in life, challenges till the end where you have this product, right? So it's not really like Shark Tank, but they have people from Shark Tank, like producers and like different people. They have like like I don't know if I can say names, but they because there's legalities, right? So we can't really say all this stuff, but we can say that it's going to be streaming on all the major platforms, right? And that there are celebrities on the show that they're featured, and then after that words, then they bring us all in, and it's like a 15-20 season kind of thing, and they just play one season after another. And so I went in, I did the filming, and it was top notch. Like they treat you like, like a celebrity. They, I'm still waiting for my final edit where I can go through like, some of the stuff I want changed and stuff before the final product. And they've delayed it, I think, till early next year. Originally it's supposed to be this summer, but because they did volume 2, so they brought another 225 people. So it's like 500 people they gotta do now, plus all these celebrities. So I think they just put too much on their plate now. So now everything's kind of postponed, right? But it was a great learning experience because we went there, we filmed. I got to, do this documentary and experience like how it felt to be, kind of like it was like almost like Hollywood style, the way they did it, and they do keep up with emails and tell you like certain things, and they do like to sell their brand. They like to sell you like some stuff they're doing for you to come back and do like maybe some event of theirs that they train you, and like like a sales pitch, so I think the entire experience was like $10,000 because it came with like some kind of it was a license, right? It was like a license where you can use their material after, because it's owned by them. So it's like a license where you can use it and use it on social media. You can take clips of it and you can redo it and just pitch it, or else it's under their right. It's under them, right? So you kind of have to pay for it, and so that was the only thing. I think a lot of people were a little concerned because there's a big amount of money, right? Yeah. So, and then on top of that, you got to pay for your flight, you got to pay for hotel. So I think it was like $14,000 total. So you got to really have that money aside, willing to be able to spend it and wait for this show to come out to finally, and hopefully lots of people watch it, right? So it's not guaranteed too. So it caters to all these big streamers, up to 200 million people. It sounds great, but they have to all download this app to watch it. So if they don't download it, so that's why it's good to have celebrities, because I know with them, it brings up more people that want to watch it. So that's helpful. So we're hoping more people download this app to watch. It's called Inside Success. So they can just download that app through all these major platforms and they can watch it. And there's a red carpet too, where you can meet the celebrities, you can meet the people, the cast members, and kind of mingle and stuff and network. So that's good too. So I felt like for me, it's good because I'm trying to sell this product and brand globally. So with such an important TV show that have so many different characters and so many different people with so much experience in the business world, I felt like it was going to cater towards what I'm doing, right? So I did have another friend that got approached, and she lives in Calgary too. She's a motivational speaker, but the price scared her. So she's like, I don't know if I want to do it. She has a book coming out, right? But she asked me like how I felt about it. I told her all the positive things, but it is what it is, right? Like sometimes you have to pay a little bit of money to get some results. Some people thought it was a little high up, but that's why some people did and some didn't, right? But Dragon's Den is not going to cost me anything. It's free TV. That's why I want to go on it. So at least if I don't get the deal, I still got free airtime to millions of people watching it, right? But that's I feel like what I have right now with good financials to pitch it to them, it should be an automatic, because they're business people, right? So they will see like the possibilities of this, right?
And how important is it? Because I believe kind of in some of the things you're saying too. So I pay for a well-known guy to be my business coach, and I'm in a coaching class. It's a small group class. I think there's only like 12 of us, and I'm actually going Montana next week to his compound to be face to face with him so he can put eyes on my business. This wasn't free. I had to pay for this, and I had to pay for the flight there and the hotel and everything, and it's costing me a few grand, but I had to separate the emotion of the money from like this is a big deal. This could be they say no risk, no reward, right? Like what's a couple $1,000s if this gives me what I need to expand my business to millions of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. So how do you because you have this product and this is a major product and you're doing I assume major manufacturing overseas right now. When I make some of my gear, I do try to keep most of it in house. But for instance, I'm a big MMA guy and I'm trying to work on a rash guard right now. And the easiest way for me to do that is outsource that overseas. And I'm working with, all these different companies, trying to find the right material, the right style, how it's going to fit, feel, all that stuff. How important is it to kind of take emotions out of business sometimes, especially when it comes to money?
Um, yeah, like with money, like I had money saved up from like previous like real estate deals. I had money saved from like stocks and stuff. So I always left a little nest for something like this, and I'm not shy to spend it if I feel like I do the pros and cons and I feel like it mixes well, right? And because I know television is so important, people watching, and when they watch something that's, like that's a popular TV show or something, it radiates towards them, right? When I tell people I'm going to be on this show, that show, they're like, oh, really? What show? They're like, oh, tell us when it's on. And so people immediately like radiate towards it. And because you can use this content forever, so I can keep reusing it over and over again, that should help a lot. And even with podcasting, there's a couple I actually have paid money for, but they're the top, like I think there's like one's like 0.05, one's like the top trauma podcast. So they're like up there. So if they have the opportunity to reach millions of people, for me it's like, okay, then I want to center that around the launch time. Before I launch my product, I want to do these podcasts like a little shortly after, right? So that when people watch, they can buy it, or they can find it on my website, right? Right now, not everything's on it because I haven't launched my second product, so they can only buy the first product, right? But it's the second product that actually is very impressive for the hearing industry because there is no background sounds or very minimal. As hearing aids in my first product, you can hear background sounds, right? So someone that has hearing problems would find it kind of confusing because they're trying to focus in front of them and you got all this background sounds and stuff. Now they got to focus on that, right? So I found that my first product now is more favorable for the blind community because when your sight's diminished, you want to hear those background sounds. Now those background sounds will navigate you. It will help you tell who's around you. So then now I have two products. So it kind of worked out that way, right? So I think just really not like, of course you have to make sure that it's not gonna like cause any problems financially where you can't feed your kids or like, like, or you take a big loan out that you can't, it's gonna struggle you, right? But like, but like 10,000 wasn't a lot for people. I can see why, I was gonna like, that's a lot, right? But a few $1,000s if it's gonna reap you benefits, like even if it didn't. And I always think of that too, like just because you invest money into this stuff doesn't mean it's gonna for sure get you success, right? It takes you to also have to do some work and promote it too. So I'm not gonna just let them do all the work, like, oh, they're just gonna like, do everything. I'm gonna be into success, right? So I know that I have to pull some weight too, right? So, and I become obsessed with that too, because I'm like, I put all this money in, like I really need to put this in next year. So, and it would bother me if I spent that much and it didn't go through, right? So, it didn't go as well as I thought, right? So I think it's like, if you're gonna spend it, you better put extra effort into it, or don't bother doing it at all, because nothing is gonna sit there overnight and just do it by itself, like so.
So show us the first product, and is the first product like, is it in market now or is it only on the website? Can people like get this now? Talk a little bit about that.
I have my demo of my second product, but they all look the same. So if they all look like this. So this sits in front of your ears, and there's a transducer in the front. So it looks like this. There's two transducer in the front. They sit right in front of in front of your ears, right? So above on your cheekbones. So that's where that amplifies the sound vibrations. But because it sits on the front of the ear, so there's nothing in your ear, no earwax buildup, nothing, right? So this. So you can see the second product, there's one button right here. That's the on and off button. So for seniors, that's so easy. You just turn on the button, you turn on the power button, put it on your head, and it amplifies everything right away. The amplification is actually is already there, right? My first product, you have to click twice to turn it on. You got to hold the button for 5 seconds. So for seniors, it was a little more tedious because they had a little struggle with that. So that's why my second one, I amped it up. I fixed everything to make it more senior friendly, where they don't have to click anything, just put it on and it works, right? So the second product now it has environmental mode. So you have indoor mode, outdoor mode, you got vocal mode. So when you're in different settings, the sounds will change. So we have this product where it adjusts to the environment, right? And you got dual control, volume control, so you can change control for the volume of both sides of your ears.
Oh, wow.
So it's for someone that has one-sided deafness or one side that's worse than the other, you can readjust that, right? My first product didn't have the sound adjustment for the amplification, so when you put it on, it just amplified everything, right? So that's why that's like the base model. I came in with that, and I evolved because you know over time you need to learn what you need to fix, right?
Right.
And that's the only way it's gonna work. Even with this product, 2 years from now, I have another product. Just like Apple, you gotta keep improving, right? Because there's gonna be competition. If they best you in some other way, then you're gone. But for me, it's like I feel like I put so much time and effort into making my brand, giving it a good image, a purpose, that I will, as long as I keep revamping myself, I will always be the top guy, because there's always going to be people that are going to try to mimic you, copy you, but they don't have that same drive. They don't have that same image and purpose as this product does, right? So I feel like just because you have a product doesn't mean it's going to sell, right? People
Right.
can copy it all day long, and it's just gonna. They don't have the opportunities of me going in there talking to seniors every day and like and they resonate with me because I have a disability. So there's lots of different things. When you have a disability and you're working with people with disabilities, that's a totally different thing, right? You're no longer just a sales guy. You're one of them. So they take it seriously, and they actually watch with like way more, attention. They feel you. I feel them, right? So I feel like when you have a product, it's good to have a purpose. It has to have a direct impact on you somehow, right? So you can share the story with other people, right? And that's why things are going well with me right now. So yeah.
What's the current battery life on them, and how do they charge?
Yeah, so the first one is a 2-hour charge, and you get 8 to 10 hours. Second one is only 1 hour charge, and you get 8 to 10 hours. So
Nice.
yeah, so very lightweight, 28 grams. It's almost like, it's just so light. People wear it, they wear it for 8 hours. It doesn't hurt their head, because there's some bone conduction headphones I tried, and it actually squeezes your temples a little too hard, and it kind of like some people might get dizzy because the transducers, some of them make it a little too, it vibrates a little too hard on people, so it becomes, people get dizzy. So I made sure I found one that was not gonna be too hard on the temple, comfortable, but it needs that fit where it everything has to be securely fitted, right? Because you need it touching your skin in order for the bone conduction to work, right? Because if it's floating, then it's not gonna do much, right? So there's a lot of things that had to you have to like test over and over again, because you don't want to have a product that's squeezing people's heads. You don't want to have something too loose, but then you want to have something that works for most heads, right? So there is a problem where some people have oversized heads, or they have too small heads, like kids. So instead of making adjustable headbands, which no one has, because we found out that if you have adjustable bands, we start stretching things, it ruins the whole mechanism of the product, right? So you can't do that. So only way is to make kid sizes and extra large sizes. But that costs more money, and you got to produce more. And then I don't want to have so much of one product sitting that's not going to do as much. So over time, I will, colors, different colors, like that all costs more money. But it's like all these special features. It's also waterproof. It's a semi-waterproof too. So you can splash water. You can sweat in it too, right? So a lot of different things. This works that hearing aids don't do, and of course, people factor in the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 compared to $200-$300. And more people are just like, wow, I think this is something we rather use, especially someone that's never had hearing aids. They want something this as like an introductory thing, right? Because they don't want to spend $8,000 and the thing doesn't work properly, right? So I think a lot of people are more, they're not going to be as jumpy into just spending into hearing aids anymore, because now they know there's maybe another option that they didn't know about before. So yeah, I think it's going to go good.
So your first product, if people want it, like how can they get it, and when is the second updated version set to release?
Yeah, so if they want to buy it, it's on my website, www.theinnerflow.com. So THEINNERFLO without the W, so FLO.com. Some people put the W in, and we have a fulfillment e-commerce with Shopify. So I have 140 countries I just opened. When the time comes, it's able to fulfill for all these countries, and so that's why I've been doing podcasts in Australia and Germany, and like sending products to different countries, other podcasters. So, and they all been loving it. So I think it's just a matter of time. And then if they want to go on social media, on Instagram, it's the Flow Group, and they can check out all the events, partnerships, collaborations. The launch is kind of going to happen in early September. Okay. So, this week I'm doing like new model shots. You got to do new content, revamp the entire website. So, and then I got to, I have a warehouse, it's already expanding to, my products were in my house before, right? Now it's, a little warehouse, and later be a bigger warehouse, and bigger. So it's just little steps, and it's great. It's a great learning process. Watching it grow. It's like a little baby, right? Just like you're seeing things grow. And, the obsession is not bad. It's just you have to make sure it doesn't take a toll on your health and your relationships. that's the goal. But yeah, when I think around mid-September, then I'll have all my products and people can purchase both of them. But for now, it's just this product, and I have this other product called True Blue. And that True Blue is a Bluetooth transceiver, and seniors watch TV with it at mute instead of blasting their TV. Like noise complaints. So we have this product where it connects to the TV, it pairs with your headphones, and you can just watch TV at mute or low volume or whatever. You can watch it with your family and friends, but the senior gets to watch it directly in the headphone. And it's like a cinematic sound, right? So they can control it on the volume on this device. So we found a lot of seniors liked it too, because now they can watch TV in peace and quiet too, right? So a couple of products out there. Yeah.
Well, I think that's awesome, not just for seniors. Like you said that, I'm like, oh crap, I could watch this in the bedroom with my wife. And I've tried the old school noise canceling, watch TV while your wife's sleeping headphones, and they never work properly. Like they break after the first try, and the receiver never works. And so that's pretty cool product. I'll have to check that out. So once again, drop where everybody can find you at, where the product's located at, where they can get in touch with you at.
Yep. So the products they're only on my website, but I do events. I do them in person. I sell in person as well in the city of Calgary. So anyone in the city of Calgary, I usually just meet them myself, and I drop it off myself. But anyone outside of Calgary, then they can order online. And there's a special promo code, seniors 10. So seniors with an S 10, and you can get 10% off at checkout. It pretty much that's where you can purchase them. So yeah, later down the road, I'll probably have them at Walmart, Best Buy, but that won't be for like another year probably, right? So that's my goal. Yeah.
Amazon all over the world,
man. No Amazon. Yeah. No Amazon. No, that's the thing. I didn't want to. So a lot of people that put their products through Amazon, I had friends that had their products get killed like right away because you got competition. Oh, wow. Competition came in and just wrote bad reviews, and it killed them right away. Oh, so wow. My friend had $50,000 worth of stuff, And second day, his ratings were like 1 out of 5, and no one wanted to buy it, so it ruined him. And that sucks because there's so many bots and stuff. There's so much competition just waiting to ruin people's products, and I didn't want that. I want to grow mine outside. Just like it makes your brand more unique too, right? So
right.
exactly, right. So I want to stay away from Amazon. I know you can probably sell more, but I want to just grow it outside. Yeah, it worked for me. So yeah.
No, you gotta get in where you fit in. So, guys, as I always say, everything will be linked in the show notes when this episode airs. You'll be able to get in touch with Michael, look at his website and his products, follow him on social media for the updates and everything. Actually, you'll have to let me know, email, whatever. I'd like to watch that Legacy Makers show,
For
see you
sure.
on it, see how that went. That's really dope. So, I always ask my guests this, Mike. What's your definition of turning pain into progress?
Um, it's like no pain, no gain. Like, it's like you don't go through the pain, you don't gain anything, right? For me, it's like the pain made me who I am today. The pain, as bad as it was, I'm sure there's other people that go through worse pain than me. I've seen tons of things, but then I've been a part of, I've been defeated. I've been, but it's the overcoming of defeats and obstacles and adversity. That's what brings you at the end of the tunnel. And for me and you, we've been through a lot, and look at us, you do a podcast, you're changing the world by promoting people like me and I'm promoting what I'm doing to help other people. So, I think it's great to have these podcasts that we can share these stories with people, that it's normal, that everyone goes through this, and you can use people like us as inspiration, because I had inspiration from other people. So,
and guys, that's my final thoughts. Like, be inspired by the people that have gone through hell and they found a way out. We're not superhumans. I'm not a superhero. I'm not extraordinary. I'm sure Michael will say with his ADHD and his disabilities that he's fighting, he's not extraordinary. We just refuse to lose and refuse to quit. And it's crazy to me that when we have one life, like, you're not coming back after this is over. So why not give it all you got and put it into something beautiful, whether it's helping people or building a life of abundance for you and your family, or being the person that you want to be. There's just too much hate, evil, and darkness in the world. So why stay in that darkness? Get out there and don't let your disabilities, don't let your issues, don't let anybody tell you can't do anything, because right now we're living proof. Michael, I wish you the best of luck. I hope this makes $1 gazillion. I hope they're using it on the freaking moon when we move to Mars.
Thank you. Hopefully.
I really think that's an awesome, unique product. And I really appreciate you sharing your story and letting us know that something out of darkness could create a beautiful thing. So I look forward to this episode dropping, and, we'll stay in touch with some more things so we can do some updates or whatnot. Guys, follow Michael on social media. Check out his website. If you know anybody at all that needs help with hearing, he's got the product for you. I guarantee it'll probably work and work better than anything else you could probably imagine, and you won't have to stick things in your ears. So that's a beautiful thing. Guys, this has been another episode of the Battle Harder podcast. Michael, once again, thank you for joining me.
I love it. Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. And I want to say how great of a job you did. And I've done a lot of podcasts, but this really hit home the most, because the stuff you asked really, like, not every podcast does, they'll center around different topics, but we hit everything, and it was much more in depth. I got to talk more like to buddy, like to a friend, really resonate with me. This is more a personal podcast to me. I love it. You did a great job.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that's the things that keep me doing this, because I just want people to be able to come to the Battle Harder podcast, the channel, and be able to resonate with you or whatever guest I have on, from the woman that's been battered and beaten, to the person dealing with emotional eating, to even the person that's lost 300 pounds. We all have struggles. You just have to choose to win or lose. And I'm going to bet on myself every time, and you're going to bet on yourself every time, Michael. So I really appreciate those kind words. And guys, once again, another episode of the Battle Hard podcast. And what I like to say at the end of every show, remember to always be fit for battle. Thank you.
You've just heard another battle-tested conversation. Now it's time to take action. If this episode lit a fire in you, Subscribe on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, or YouTube, so you never miss a moment that could change your life. Want to go deeper? Connect with Coach Rob at BattleFittedBrand.com for coaching, gear, and tools to help you turn your pain into progress. Remember, life will test you, but you're built to battle harder. Until next time, stay locked in, stay ready, and keep showing up.